it's on into the afternoon, you'll see these thunderstorms really start to enhance. And it does include portions of eastern New Mexico where they already have those wildfires. We could see the potential of new wildfires breaking out because of this right here. From Las Vegas down to Roswell, what you're seeing right now is dry thunderstorms. So at the surface is so dry right now that it's evaporating before it reaches the ground, but the electricity in the atmosphere is still potentially going to be triggering and igniting new wildfire growth. With this, strong wind gusts starting to move over into the northern portion of Texas into the Panhandle, that could create rapid wildfire growth. Notice the thunderstorms rumbling through Lubbock, through Amarillo, even portions of southern Kansas, and then it carries out towards Wichita Falls, up towards Oklahoma City early in the morning. These are the overnight hours. It may wake you up. We're going to pick where this left off here on Tuesday. But first, we want to address what's going to happen later on today. In blue is where you could have those damaging winds. We're going to zoom in and show you that Hatch area, up to 75-mile-per-hour gusts in those areas of eastern New Mexico. That could already promote wildfire growth for those active wildfires in New Mexico right now, the second largest wildfire in state history. As we carry into tomorrow, there is the leftover, the remnants of those storms carrying up overnight. The main focus is to the north. As we get into the Midwest, notice Kearney, Nebraska, out towards Omaha. You get to really Kansas City. That's when those storms start to pick up. So overnight, there's those storms moving into really Fort Smith, Tulsa. As they move towards Little Rock into the afternoon, they fall apart. Now we're keeping our eyes to the north, just north of Kansas City into southern Iowa. That's when 8 p.m., really when you'll have those dynamic storms. And then late into the evening time, Tuesday into the overnight hours, Wednesday morning is when it lands into Kansas City. Those areas have been hit hard. They're still trying to recover, and there's more storms midweek for the Midwest.
I'm Amy Freeze. Welcome to Fox Weather's YouTube page. We have more great videos on the way, so make sure to subscribe to stay updated on all things weather.